What's up, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and we are back again today with another 2020 NBA Draft Prospect full game video breakdown. And today we're going to be looking at Texas Tech guard Jahmi'us Ramsey. Jahmi'us Ramsey came into Texas Tech this past season as their highest rated recruit ever in the sport of basketball, and he certainly delivered to some extent. He averaged 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2.2 assists on 42% shooting from the floor and 43% from three, so obviously was pretty efficient from the three-point line. And yeah, I'm excited to watch this game. This is a game in which they host Baylor. They ultimately lose the game, but Ramsey had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block in 38 minutes. So let's get right into it, and I'll start the video. So he's going to be number 3 in the gray. And he's wearing the neon yellow shoes, and now he's right now on Davion Mitchell for Baylor. That time he got hung up on that screen, but they called out a switch. This is actually an interesting game because Texas Tech and Baylor obviously are two programs that are very reliant on the no-middle scheme of defense. So you're going to see a lot of icing ball screens and just forcing towards the baseline and the sidelines. Decent contest there. Could have gotten called for a foul, but did not. So again, Ramsey is in the lower right corner right now. And he's going to be on the ball here. So yeah, he's a freshman. I have him right now, I want to say around 35 on my big board. I have him as an early second-round prospect. You know, he only shot 44% from the field, which isn't necessarily bad, but then you look at his 43% from three-point line, which is really, really good, but then 64% from the free throw line, which is very interesting. So it really does lead one to wonder whether or not one of those percentages was an anomaly, whether or not he's typically not as good of a shooter in his three-point, he was just hot from the three-point line, or if it was the opposite way around where he's a good shooter, he was just uniquely cold from the free throw line. So either one could be true. Both of them, I mean, it could happen where he's just a really good three-point shooter and just not a good free throw shooter, but there is a little bit of concern with his jump shot. Another thing to note with Jahmi'us Ramsey is that he is very prone to settling for mid-range jump shots. A lot of his points this year came off of long twos. And again, he makes a lot of them, but they're really hard to sustain in the NBA at an efficient level. So there's something to worry about a little bit with there. But again, you know, Ramsey, very quick, athletic kid, explosive first step, you know, can handle a little bit. Played a lot of off-the-ball guard here at Texas Tech just because they had Davide Moretti running the point. But I do think he's capable of leading an offense, even though he didn't really get to show a lot of that. Texas Tech, let's see if he hits this three. He knocks that one down. Again, clean-looking stroke. Takes a little bit of time to get off. But overall, I mean, it goes in 42.6% of the time. So, and again, it looks fine. It just is a little bit slow. And he doesn't really get a whole lot of elevation with his feet. But again, people have shot well without those things anyway. So, again, he had 20 points in this game, and he played pretty well overall, even though Texas Tech lost. Right there, decent rim contest. Couldn't get the block. But again, he's a bouncy athlete, quick first step, tends to play out of control a little bit. So right there, use a nice hesitation move, almost got the finish. And again, his rim finishing isn't that great. Again, most of his points, or a lot of his points, came off of mid-range twos and threes. And so he definitely needs to finish at the rim a little bit more consistently for me to totally buy him as a first-round prospect. That was a nice little drop-down pass and then a pass to an assist, or a potential assist for an open three. Averaged around 2 turnovers a game, which I'm not crazy about considering he only averaged 2.2 assists a game. But again, a lot of his time was spent off the ball due to Davide Moretti. And so there are things to look a little bit more deeply at in that regard as well. It's a good pass from Kyler Edwards to, I think that's TJ Holyfield. Those Texas Tech uniforms are really cool, by the way. Those things are awesome. But again, I think he's a guy who, again, he has a really solid frame for 6'4". He's 6'4", 195. He's very comfortable bullying smaller defenders, just using his body to get towards the rim and finish. Good off the dribble shooter. He has that motion down. It doesn't look clunky at all. And again, he's a pretty solid defender. The thing with Texas Tech is that you don't play at all if you can't defend. So, and again, Ramsey has made some really nice impact plays for Texas Tech on defense this season, and we'll see a few in this game as well. But you don't play at Texas Tech if you can't play defense. That's just the way Chris Beard operates. So for Ramsey to come in here, start as a freshman, it's pretty impressive. And again, he's in the bright yellow shoes, and he's still guarding Davion Mitchell. And here we go. Now he's on the ball. See what he does here. That time kind of got a bit on that pump fake, but it didn't really do anything. Tends to play a little bit sped up on both ends, I would say. I think as he gets more reps at point guard and just handling the ball, I think he'll get a little bit better at that. And we'll skip this commercial here. But you see a lot of his turnovers come from just forcing the issue, really, and not really taking what's there. So he definitely needs to improve on his overall court vision, I would say. And hopefully that comes in time because he's a talented kid, a really explosive, athletic kid as well. So here we go he's with the ball. Didn't do much with it. Oh, reverse it. Reverse it, Davide. Oh, that's a good pass anyway. Jeez. Ball movement, Texas Tech. So that time he airballed it. And again, the shot, he made a really high percentage of his shots this year from 3 and from mid-range. But again, the free throw percentage, only 64%. And again, he bit on the pump fake again right there. Led to an open 3. It might have been a 2, actually. Or it was a 3. But again, just tends to bite on pump fakes a little bit too much. It would serve him well to be a little bit more disciplined on the defensive end. He's capable of making impact plays because he has a nice frame, moves his feet well. It's just, that can't happen on that. He just flew by on that front pick and led to the open 3. So, yeah, that's the second time he got burned on that. That time Davion Mitchell had a dribble in his bag. So that's just an unfortunate thing. And then he's out right here, so I will skip ahead to... Let's see. He is out. Here we go. So now Ramsey is on Devontae Bandu. Right there, probably got sunk into the help a little bit too much for my liking. But I understand why. And now he's in the left corner. Looks like it's going to be Texas Tech ball. He's also wearing a face mask in this game. I think he got injured earlier in the season. He missed a few games. He missed he missed some big games too. He missed Louisville, I know, because I was looking at that game to see if I could do that game for him, but he was out against other teams as well. I think he was out against Creighton and teams like that. So he missed a lot of big games, but he did have a very solid freshman season. And a lot of people, there are some varying opinions on Jahmi'us Ramsey. I have him as a early second round prospect right now. A lot of guys have him in their first round. I listened to one guy, I forget his name, but he has him in his top 10. So there's just a lot of varying opinions on him. I think where I have him is probably the most consistent. So again, Ramsey's going to be on Maceo Teague in the weak side corner. And again, he's pretty alert defensively. It's just the discipline I think needs to improve a little bit just on the ball. And again, I think once he starts to Once the game starts to slow down for him a little bit, I think he'll be a lot better player. Because right now it just looks like he's reacting to things instead of taking control. And again, listen, he had a very good season by playing like that. So you don't want him to lose all of that firepower and all that energy he has. But again, just playing with a little bit more control, I think will serve him well. Right there, nice little slip and a nice feed from Chris Clark, and Ramsey got the lay-in for 2. But again, he's got a good frame. And again, it's hard to play with that mask on too. And I think he shot 5 of 10 from 3 in this game. So obviously it didn't affect his vision. It's a really, really good pass from Jared Butler. So you got a foul here, and I'm just going to let it run. So right there, does a nice little slip. And a pass from Clark. Easy finish for Ramsey. Again, he's one of those guys where I think he's probably better suited off the ball, at least early in his career. Whether or not he can develop into a distributing role is yet to be known. But right now, I think he could add value for a team like Philadelphia, a team that could use shooting, athleticism on the perimeter, ball skills, things like that. I think he could serve them well. A team like Dallas, I could see them using him. Just teams that have their starting point guard kind of in place, and he doesn't really offer much and he's bigger, so obviously he could play off the ball a little bit more comfortably. So you got Ben Simmons in Philadelphia, obviously, and then Luka Doncic in Dallas. You got a media timeout right here, so I'll skip ahead. There's a little profile on Jahmi'us Ramsey. Go back to that. Yeah, so again, they're 8-1 with him at this point in the season, and he was shooting 39% from 3 at this time. Or that's as a team, I think. But again, he definitely added a lot of value as a three-point shooter for Texas Tech. And again, if that's not a blip, he'll have instant value in the NBA. But I just need to see a little bit more with the free throw shooting. And just, again, people have hot seasons from mid-range and threes. We look at D'Angelo Russell, his all-star year in Brooklyn, right? He got a lot of his points from mid-range, and he hasn't really been the same player since that season. So, it's yet to be seen if that could be a consistent method of offense, just because they're not the most efficient shots, and they're difficult shots most of the time. Right there, he's going to get that steal. Let's see what he does here. Way to be active there. That time, not a great pass from Kyler Edwards. It got deflected, obviously, and then he slipped. You got a foul on the ground here. I believe he is. Yeah, he's out here, and he's out for like a minute. Would have maybe like to see him take him one-on-one. Again, he does have a good frame. He could have bullied Davion Mitchell going to his left. But I understand why he passes that, and I will skip ahead. He's out for about a minute of game time, and now he's back in. And he's on Davion Mitchell. So right there, he matched him stride for stride. He got a little bit ahead of himself. Mitchell did a good job stopping, but he ultimately got back in time to contest that shot. And it was a pretty good contest as well. But a lot of his mistakes on the ball defensively come from him overcommitting places. It's not due to a lack of speed or a lack of burst. It's really just a matter of right there. It's just a matter of overcommitting, moving too far, going up for shot fakes, just playing a little bit too aggressively. So now he's guarding Freddie Gillespie on the post through a switch. Right there again, totally got beat on the closeout. And Matt Myers, a guy who's a really good shooter, so I understand the aggressive closeout, but he can't be beating Jahmi'us Ramsey off the dribble like that. So his closeouts, his defensive discipline on the ball definitely needs work, in my opinion. But I think he has the tools to be a good defender. And again, he shows effort. It's not a laziness thing. It's not an effort issue. It's just a matter of just being a little bit more reined in on defense. And I think that'll come with a little bit more seasoning and preparation. This is just a replay of that should be a charge, I believe. Yeah. So here's Ramsey on the ball. That time, Moretti should have caught that pass. It's not on him. That was a set play out of an inbounds pass. It looked like a screen the inbounder. It looked like they had him, too. So now Texas Tech is looks like a matchup zone. They're switching a lot. And Ramsey is on Mark Vital right now. You should probably take a moment to appreciate the score. It is currently 13-9 with 8:46 left in the first half, which is just, that's very Virginia, Wisconsin-like. So good. Ramsey starting off this possession on Vital, who's a bigger guy than him. Isn't really a threat as a shooter. But again, I do think they're comfortable with putting him on bigger players just because he does have a solid frame, pretty athletic kid as well. So right here, that's what he does. Good shot fake, good kick out. That's really solid play. That's an awesome play from Jahmi'us Ramsey right there. That's exactly what you want him to do. Attack the closeout off the shot fake, blew by Matt Meyer, had a potential mid-range jump shot, but he kicked it out for the three. Good shot for a better shot, and Kyler Edwards, I believe, knocked that one down. Really solid, heady play from Jahmi'us Ramsey right there. So again, they got a charge call on that. That was a cool play from Texas Tech. Ramsey wasn't responsible for that back cut. He probably could have done a little bit more to prevent it from happening, but no harm, no foul there. Ramsey's going to be in the right corner. Let's see what he does here. So yeah, he's looking. Again, pretty good handle. Really good job getting past Freddie Gillespie, who's I think he was an all Big 12 defender right there, and that was a pretty good move to get by him. Ultimately, he dished off to Clark, who traveled, but again, you see that shiftiness, that quickness that he does possess. Interviewing Freddie Gillespie on my screen right now, and he's a top 100 guy. I think I have him in the mid to late 90s, so he just cracked the top 100, but he's still in there. So here's Ramsey. Let's see if he hits this. Good shot fake right there. Another really good kick out, just reading the defense. Should have been another assist for him. So you got and one or a charge? Yeah, charge here. So here's Ramsey being guarded by Davion Mitchell, who's another all-league defender, probably all-American defender, if I remember correctly. Good slip from Ramsey. He does here. Another really high-level pass. Again, he's really good at identifying shooters on the perimeter off of drives. That's one thing he's very solid at. Pick and roll, I think he definitely needs a little bit of work, but he does have that kick out mentality down where he can get by his initial defender and then he'll have the defense collapse on him, and he's very good at picking apart defenses and finding open shooters on the perimeter off of the initial drive. And again, every single team is looking for a guy who can get into the teeth of the defense and then distribute from there. Ramsey's definitely your guy because he doesn't necessarily need a screen to get by a defender at the NBA level. I do think that's a next step in his development, I would say, is just to be more, just to be a little bit more comfortable in pick and roll and ball screens and things like that. But he does have that passing vision, as we've seen a few times. So Ramsey in the corner, he's going to get a double pin down. He's going to get the ball right here. That's a decent shot for him. Again, he makes 42.6% of those threes. So, and again, he's comfortable shooting off the move, off the dribble, things like that. He's a very versatile shooter in terms of his release and his footwork. So, ooh. It's a good pass from Matt Meyer, but I think Ramsey did a good job helping and trying to cut off that obvious read to the weak side wing that would have resulted in an open three. Yeah, it's Chris Clark deflecting that out of bounds. So again, you could see. So right there, what happened? Good pass from Ramsey right there. Let's see if he finishes. Moretti probably should have gone up with that. But you could see, I think that was Terrence Shannon Jr. trying to force Jared Butler towards the sideline and baseline. But Butler actually did a really good job of getting around that and getting towards the middle. He ultimately just slipped. But you could see that defensive philosophy for Texas Tech in action on that previous play. Right there, he got called for a foul. I thought Ramsey did a good job just squaring up, getting big against Vital, who's going to probably take him in the post more often than not. So right there, I think, yeah, Moretti should have shot that. That was a good pass from Ramsey. That should have been a layup for Moretti, or at least a layup attempt right there. Little buffering that we got back. And see if they get an outlet. So here's Ramsey dribbling up the floor. Let's see what he does here. Good job rubbing off that initial defender. Again, he's a pretty slippery guard, too. And you can see right there, he didn't necessarily beat him, but he was able to just slide right off him and get to his spot. And I don't know what Avery Benson was doing there. That was a clear Texas Tech rebound if he didn't come in there and swat it out of bounds. I will skip ahead to the media timeout, and we got, here we go. So again, they're putting Ramsey on Vital. Right there, he did a decent enough job to just push Vital off his spot. It's going to be a layup for Moretti. And again, he does offer that post-up defense and spots type of value and switches and things like that. He's not a total mismatch nightmare for his own team in those settings. I wouldn't put him on there. I wouldn't put him on the blocks consistently, obviously, but I do think he's capable of guarding in spots in that situation. Let's see what he does here. So again, right there, it's a little bit of a forced shot. He looked a little bit sped up. Davion Mitchell did a really good job staying in front of him. And that's the type of shot that they want him to take. So I would have liked him to see him do a little bit better in that situation. Let's see what he does here. He's on Davion Mitchell right now. So right there again, it looked like he slipped, but he was still in a really good spot. Ultimately contributed to that turnover that Moretti got the steal on. So that was a good play from him. So Ramsey setting a little back screen. That looked like a busted up action, but so again, he's off the ball. Would like to see him a little bit more engaged off the ball. I think he's overall a pretty solid team defender, obviously, because you can't play at Texas Tech if you're not. But, I would like to see him get his hands up, better stance, things like that on that last play. So Ramsey's in the corner right now, just looking for a kick out. Looks like Devontae Bandu is on him, late on the switch. Let's see what he does here. Good crossover. Let's see if he hits this. Oof. He does have that shake and wiggle to his dribbling game, though. I do like that about him. His game totally shook Devontae Bandu on that play right there as well. That time, good job digging down and ultimately getting back. Forced almost a turnover. But again, that's just smart positional awareness. Just went, dug down, got back to his man, forced a busted up play for Baylor, and now Clark's going out after that. We're back. So right now, Ramsey's weak side on Bandu. Good job staying ball, you man. Again, they're comfortable with leaving him in the corner. Right there, looked like a shot clock violation. Whoops, skip the possession. So again, he's off the ball here due to Moretti's presence. Good cut. Let's see what he does here. Again, another really good job driving and kicking it out. Looks like they got a travel call. But again, Ramsey does have that vision of finding open shooters on the perimeter. Off of drives. And he made a good cut right there as well. Ramsey starting to possession on Vital. Right there, they allowed middle. Ramsey got that rebound. Let's see him push. So I'd like to see him attack right here. See, that's a really good job getting to the lane. He's going to earn free throws right there. Again, he does have that quickness, that shiftiness in his dribble. He can get by guys off the dribble rather easily. I do think that's a really awesome thing to have in your bag, and we're going to see it right here. Again, just totally shook Jerry Butler out of his shoes right there. And Vital could have been no call there, but never mind. And again, I do think he needs to start finishing better at the rim and there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to because he is totally jacked. So he shouldn't have any major issues adjusting to the physicality of the NBA. And obviously it's a different league now than it was 20 years ago, but I do think that's something that he definitely should improve on. He made his first free throw. And let's see if he makes the second one. Surprise, we got a timeout here, so I'll skip this. But listen, it is weird that he only shot 64.1% from the line. I don't know why, or if that's just always been an aspect of his game that he needs to work on. I don't know. Right there, he missed that one. Again, so yeah, that's one of the weirder statistical anomalies, I would say, that I've seen in a prospect this year, shooting so well from three, but just from the free throw line, just being a flat-out bad free throw shooter. Something you just don't see very often. I feel like there was some other guy who had that issue. I want to say it was, I don't even know. There was some guy who was a really good three-point shooter, but he just wasn't a good free throw shooter. I forget who it was. And this should be the half. Let's see if Ramsey gets the ball. And no. All right, so that's the end of the first half. I'll pause the video right here, and then we'll get back to you guys with the second half. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video on Jahmi'us Ramsey. And make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you for the second half. Thanks, Sam. We'll see you then.